welcome back. And today we are going to talk about the topic of winter vehicle accidents. When is it a legal case? Welcome to another segment of Live with Mitch, brought to you by Proner, a law firm with a global presence and expertise that feels local and personal. I'm your host, Mil Maguia. Today, we sit down with the expert himself, Mitch Proner, a personal injury attorney with over 30 years of experience, here to answer your questions and share your insights you'll find useful in the personal injury world. And remember, all consultations are free and confidential. Reach us at any time at 1-800-321-1234. How are you doing, Mitch? Welcome back.
Thanks, Mel. Glad to be back. And it's always a pleasure. How are you?
I'm good. We missed you. I missed this. It's been a while. Nothing too crazy, but it's been a while.
So what's been going on is I've been on trial, and the trial is still not over, but the judge, because of the weather, gave the jury a break, and we're getting back there next week to continue with the trial. So
wow,
that's the way it is with justice. Sometimes the wheels of justice grind slowly.
There you go, especially in weather like this, which is a perfect segue. So why do so many winter crashes seem minor at first, but actually turn into serious legal cases?
Well, as with any motor vehicle collision, it could seem like there's not too much there. Person's in the car, their adrenaline's flowing, and they think they're okay. They might not even want to call the police. They might just want to exchange information from the other side and just get on with their day. But what often happens is the following day or the following days, they might have some nagging soreness. Similar to, let's suppose somebody goes outside and shovels snow. While they're shoveling snow, they might feel okay. But that night, they might be taking Advil because they overdid it. Well, with a motor vehicle accident, you can have tears that are in the connective tissue in your neck or your back or your shoulders. You brace yourself for a collision, and as you put your hands up on the steering wheel and you lock yourself in for the collision, maybe the shoulder takes a lot of the impact, or your leg is on the brake or the accelerator, and then as a result of the impact, it jams in there. And while your adrenaline's flowing, it might seem okay, but then afterwards, you could have a lingering and nagging pain. Now, with time, Advil, maybe the next morning you feel better. But what often happens is people sometimes don't get better and they start to get medical treatment. And sometimes the medical treatment is effective. Within 2-3 weeks, you're all better. Other times, the pain just doesn't seem to go away. So the doctor might prescribe physical therapy, and that might be effective. If it's a neck or a back injury, they might say go to a chiropractor, get acupuncture, get electrostimulation, heat therapy. And if that doesn't appear to be effective, they might send you for an MRI. The MRI might reveal some damage. If it's in your neck or back, it could be a bulging disc or a herniated disc, which is the connective discs in between the vertebrae of your spine, which is made out of cartilage with a softer gel type material inside the cartilage, and it gives us the ability to move around. And in your shoulders, people think of it as a ball and socket joint, but it's actually more like a ball and a plate, and there's a rim of cartilage on the plate that's called the labrum, and that's oftentimes susceptible to tear, or it could be in the muscles and tendons holding the shoulder in place, which is called the rotator cuff, and you could have a tear there, and maybe it's going to heal on its own, but maybe you need a surgery. Now you're getting an arthroscopic surgery, and if you're working in a profession or an occupation that requires overhead movement, like let's suppose somebody's a construction worker and they
Right.
back to lifting, it could be a career-ending injury, and maybe that case is a multi-million-dollar case. But initially, it didn't seem like anything. It seemed like a fender bender. So that's why the best thing to do is if you're involved in a motor vehicle collision, the first thing you'd want to do is call the police, especially if it's not your fault and you believe the other vehicle is at fault. You want the police to document it, because otherwise, without that police report, it might be difficult to get your claim paid just for the property damage.
Right.
Subsequently, you want to get yourself checked out and your injuries and all your pains and aches documented. So afterwards, if they say, well, that's not from the accident, you have some documentation that it started hurting immediately after the accident, because that's how the insurance carriers defend these claims. They say, this is not from the accident. He didn't complain about it for 2 weeks. So it's important to document your injuries and to get the medical attention. Also, a lot of times at the scene of a motor vehicle collision, the other side might give you an insurance card and say, this is my insurance. That insurance might have lapsed and they might not have coverage, but you may have coverage if you own your own motor vehicle, even if you're a passenger and you're not in your car. If you have a motor vehicle in your household, that policy could cover you. But if the accident isn't reported to the police within 24 hours, your own carrier will deny the coverage on that claim.
Oh, wow.
So it's important to document the incident, call the police, and then get the medical care you need. Most importantly, the medical care could improve your health. And your health is always more important than any money you're going to recover from an accident claim.
Yes, definitely. I know, and that's a good message. You're always definitely underlining, and I'm sure everyone does appreciate it. Well, yeah, those some really great information, especially with how weather is nowadays. So, yeah, there you have it, folks. It's good to have you back, Mitch. But yeah, straight from the expert himself, Mitch Proner. And that wraps it up for now. Thank you for taking the time to tune in, whether it's on our podcast or video broadcast. We really do appreciate it. And remember, you can reach us 24/7 at 1-800-321-1234. All consultations are free and confidential. If you haven't done it already, please follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and of course, YouTube. Like, share, and please subscribe to get the latest updates. Now, before we go, Mitch, is there anything else you want to add to this topic?
Yeah, just as long as we're talking about the topic of weather. So the weather doesn't give any driver an excuse to get in a collision.
Okay.
You have to drive cautiously for the weather conditions. So if it's bad weather outside, even if there's black ice, you're supposed to adjust your speed accordingly so that you keep your vehicle under control. Because even if you hit black ice, you could be held at fault, or another driver could be held at fault for a collision. So you always have to drive carefully and cautiously for the weather conditions that you're presented with. And if the weather's really bad, maybe you don't want to go out on the roads.
Excellent.
Because it's a risk to your health that you don't need to take. Drive carefully, and we hope everyone's safe.
Excellent. Excellent advice once again. Yes, definitely, Mitch. Thank you for that. Thank you again, Mitch, for another informative session. And thank you all for checking us out. I know I learned a lot, and I hope you did too. Thanks again, guys. And it's good to have you back, Mitch.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye-bye.